Your sound on?
What?
Sound.
Yeah, we should be.
What was it?
It doesn't flip.
I don't know. I just flip it the other way and forget it.
Well, Mr. Levine, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
You can't see me?
I can hear you. Are you gonna
You
have any?
just- Yeah. Yeah, how about now? Here, wait. Now?
Nope, now I see you.
Okay.
So which case do you want to do first?
I'm going to do James Bartlett.
Okay. Now, do you have a witness for Bartlett?
Yeah, I have two witnesses. So the first is Mr. Bartlett's sister, Diane Russ.
All right. Who's the next one?
And the next one is Edward Shoppe, Schoppe, Schoppe.
All right. Is Mr. Shoppe there?
Yeah, I'll have him move over here when we're ready for him.
I can either swear him in one at a time or both at the same time.
Okay, come on over here.
You gotta get where you can.
Yeah,
you
just
see.
kind of,
Just scoot over this way.
yeah, just.
Yeah. Or just stand there. You're good.
Okay, we're good.
Right here. Get both of you to raise your right hands. Do you and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. You may proceed.
Well, he went to get the other witness from one of the other cases that
Okay.
just came through the
All
door.
right.
Okay,
Okay, so the
are you
witnesses.
ready, Your Honor?
Yeah, the witnesses on Mr. Bartlett have been sworn in.
Okay, I'm going to call, as the first witness, I'm going to call Diane Russ. Ms. Russ, can you please tell the judge what your full name is?
E. Diane Russ.
And are you above the age of 18?
Yes.
A resident of Austin County, Texas?
Yes.
And James R. Bartlett was your brother, is that correct?
Yes.
And he passed away on December 12, 2020 in Austin County, Texas, and he was 66 years old, is that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Bartlett lived in Austin County at the time he passed away, is that right?
Yes.
And then the document, I'm going to ask that the court take judicial notice of the will, and that's also attached to this proof, and I'm going to show Ms. Russ the copy of it. So this is a copy of the last will and testament of James R. Bartlett, and I think it's dated December 1st, 2020. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's the copy of the original that was filed in the case. Is that right?
Yes.
And now, were you there when the will was signed?
Yes.
Okay. And then when Mr. Bartlett, or after he signed the will, he didn't change it in any manner, revoke it, or make a codicil to it. Is that correct?
Right.
And Mr. Bartlett had how many children during his lifetime?
2.
And he ever adopted any children?
Ooh. No.
Wait just one second.
Someone's banging at the door.
Hope that wasn't gunfire and ceiling.
No, it was really loud. It scared us all.
All right. So after Mr. Bartlett made the will, he didn't have any more children. He didn't adopt any children. Is that correct?
Right.
And Mr. Bartlett was married 2 times during his lifetime. And the first marriage was to Diane Bartlett. And I'm sorry, Diane, that's correct, Diane Bartlett. And that marriage ended in divorce. Is that correct?
Right.
And the second marriage was to Shirley Vickercall, and that ended in divorce. Is that correct?
Yes.
So Mr. Bartlett wasn't married then when he passed away. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in his will, Mr. Bartlett named Allison, her last name now is Cumpian. That was his daughter. That is his daughter. Is that correct?
Yes.
And he named her to serve without bond as independent executor.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And she, but in the petition, she asked that she be appointed. And as far as you know, she's not disqualified from doing that. Is that correct?
Yes.
And also, Mr. Bartlett, in his will, he did not leave anything to the state of Texas or any governmental agency of the state of Texas or any charitable organization. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Our next witness will be Mr. Shoppe.
You may proceed.
Okay. You are Edward R. Shoppy, is that correct?
Yes,
And you live in Austin County, Texas?
yes, sir.
And you told me you're 60 years old, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you know Mr. Bartlett?
Yes.
And how long did you know him?
Oh, for many years.
Okay. And then I think Ms. Russ told me that he passed away on December 12th, 2020 in Austin County, Texas. Is that correct, as far as you know?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. And then the will that you're referring to in your testimony, there's a copy I'm going to show you. And the judge took judicial notice of the will. It's dated. I'm going to go through it. This is the first page, second page, third page, and then the fourth page. And I think there's two witnesses. Are you on there? Did you sign that will as a witness?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this is dated first day of December 2020. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you signed it, where was that at? Where did that happen at?
At Mr. Bartlett's house
In Sealy?
in Sealy.
Okay,
yes.
and who else was there when you signed it?
Mr. Bartlett was there, and I don't know who the other guy was.
Rudy Fatasic, I think is his name.
Yes,
Okay, and now, when Mr. Bartlett signed it, were you present when he signed it?
yes,
And did he sign it in front of you and Rudy?
yes, he did.
And then did you and Rudy each sign it?
Yes, sir.
And the purpose of your signing it was to be a witness?
Yes,
And you're above the age of 18, is that correct?
yes,
And at that time, Rudy was above the age of 18,
yes,
and Mr. Bartlett was above the age of 18.
yes.
And as far as you know, was Mr. Bartlett, you had known him for a long time,
Long
been
time.
friends with him. And was he of sound mind when he signed the will?
Yes,
Okay. And that he, you knew, or you believe he knew that what he was doing as far as this was a will he intended to sign. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay, that's all I'd have of this witness.
All right. Anybody else?
No, I think that's all.
Okay. And then, so is Miss Compian going to sign the oath?
Yeah, after you sign the order, I'm going to call her here and get her to sign the oath, and then I'll send it to the court. I'll e-file it.
All right, real good. And just for my own curiosity, what's the Bartlett pocket watch?
The what?
Oh,
Oh, here,
was-
Diane knows
it
it.
was my grandfather's.
Wow. Okay. Okay. All right.
You
Well,
know
based
where
on,
you know where Bartlett Road is?
yes.
So that's Bartlett.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, based on
Okay.
the okay. So I admit the will into probate and appoint Miss Compian as independent executrix, and there will be inventory due in 90 days.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
The
you.
next one I have is for Miss Lawrence Sopchak. Is that how you pronounce it? Here, come on over here.
We need to sit over here.
No, you're going to sit over here.
Can I sit here?
You cannot sit like this. That's fine. Judge is going to swear you in. See the judge.
Did
is
you have
ready
to-
swear.
One witness for this one, Mr. Levine?
Correct.
One, okay. And get you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And can you please tell you can put your hand down now. Can you tell the judge what your name is?
Bonnie Subcheck.
And it's Sopchak. Is that correct?
Yes,
And Lawrence Subject was your husband. Is that correct?
yes,
And you told me that he passed away on July 24th, 2020 in Brazos County, Texas. And he was 89 years when he passed away. Is that correct?
right.
Okay. And Mr. Subject lived in Austin County when he passed away. Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah, he lived in San Felipe.
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is the document. I'm going to ask the court to take notice of the will that was filed dated July 17, 1998. Take judicial notice of that. And this is a copy of that. And this is you brought me the original will. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay. And this is entitled Last Will and Testament of Lawrence Subject. And I'm looking at it. It's dated July 17, 1998. Is that correct?
yes,
Need some glasses?
yes. I know
Here.
I have some.
You want to use these?
I got some.
Okay. This is dated July 17, 1998. Is that correct?
Yes,
And so when after Mr. Subject made that will, he didn't have he didn't change it, did he?
No,
Didn't revoke it or make any changes to it?
no,
Okay. And after he made the will, did Mr. Subcheck have any children born to him?
4,
But after he made the will. So he made the will in
Yeah.
on July 17, 1998. Did he have any children born after that
no,
and didn't adopt any children? Is that
No.
correct?
right,
Okay. And you had told me that Mr. Subcheck never received Medicaid. Is that correct?
right,
Had Medicare, but not Medicaid.
right,
And you had also told me that all of the debts of his estate had been paid. He didn't have any debts.
no,
And when he passed away, is that correct?
right,
And we're just asking that, or excuse me, you also, it states in here, there's no bequest to any charitable organization or any governmental agency of the state of Texas or the state of Texas itself. Is that
No.
correct?
Right.
In fact, I think he left all of his estate to you. Is that right?
yes,
Okay. And you're asking that the court admit the will to probate as a muniment of title. So we talked about that. What that would mean is once the will is signed, then we can file it in the records, certified copy of the will and the order that the judge signs. And then that'll serve as like a deed to transfer the property that he and you own in San Philip. Is that correct?
right,
Okay. And you're asking the judge to go ahead and approve the will or admit the will to probate and sign the order that presented. Is that right?
yes,
Okay. That's all we have, Your Honor.
All right, well, based on your testimony, I admit the will as a muniment of title.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why don't you have a seat down there and then she's going to come and she's going to have you sign some papers. Okay. So the next one I have is, which I'm going to do, Ms. Heidelberg.
Okay. All right, you may proceed.
Okay. Do I need to be sworn?
No.
Okay. My name is Sidney Levine, and I'm here to offer the will for probate of Patricia Ann Heidelberg. Ms. Heidelberg died on January 17, 2021 in Austin County, Texas. She was 64 years old, and 4 years, of course, has not elapsed since the date of her death. And Ms. Heidelberg lived in Austin County, Texas when she passed away. And the document which I'm looking at, which I'm asking the court to take judicial notice of, is the will that was dated September 5th, 2002, signed by Patricia Ann Heidelberg and witnessed by myself, Sidney Levine, and Maureen Brack. And that was the will that was filed for probate. And it was, as far as I know, it was never revoked. And after Ms. Heidelberg made the will, she didn't have any children born to her and didn't adopt any children. And Ms. Heidelberg was married 2 times during her lifetime. Her first marriage was to Wade King, and the marriage between Ms. Heidelberg and Wade King ended in a divorce. And Ms. Heidelberg's second marriage was to John Heidelberg on July 16, 1995. And that marriage ended when John Heidelberg passed away on February 1st, 2003. And Ms. Heidelberg was not married when she passed away. Ms. Heidelberg was a resident, I think I said she was a resident of Austin County, Texas when she passed away. And the will named John as the independent executor. And of course, he's passed away. And then the will named her father, Larkin Beekman Sr., who I know, to serve as independent executor of her will. However, he's unable to serve. What happened was he broke his hip and he's been hospitalized, and now he's, I think, in a rehabilitation center. So he can hopefully be able to walk again. So he's unable to serve. And then the will named Ms. Heidelberg's sister, Natalie Marie Tabola, and she was appointed to serve without bond. And she's asking that she be appointed by her application to admit the will to probate as the independent executor. And Ms. Tabola is not disqualified by law from doing the job of independent executor or serving as independent executor. And in her will, Ms. Heidelberg did not leave the state of Texas or any governmental agency of the state of Texas or any charitable organization, anything. That's all we'd have.
Okay, so I admit the will of Ms. Heidelberg and appoint Ms. Tabola as independent executrix.
Okay, and then I'll have her come and sign her oath.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
I think think that's it for
I
you.
think- Okay, I think we've done them all. Is that, I think that's
Yeah,
all we
yeah.
have on the docket.
Yeah, I had those 3 for you today.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Actually, Sydney, you still there?
Yeah.
Did you hear that Travis's mother passed away?
Oh, no, I sure didn't.
Okay. Yeah.
Ruby,
Yes.
how old was she?
92, I believe.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to have a, private ceremony and private funeral and all that, and then some celebration of life later on in the spring.
Later date. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for telling me. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Sure thing. Bye-bye.
You have her sign this?
Yeah.